And we've been successful, as you heard some of the stories, and the pastor himself was also telling me about how we were able to help his family. And so it's nice to come here to see you all in person after the great work that my staff has been doing. I mean, I get the credit, of course, but my staff is the one that actually does the work. And I'm very lucky to have an amazing staff that truly cares about the community, and they understand that constituent services is the most important thing that we do. Too many members of Congress in our city, if you call their office, they don't even answer the phone. It goes right to a voicemail. We get those calls from those districts asking for us to help. But obviously, to me, that's the most important thing. That's why we were elected, to serve the community. So I thank you. And the Liberian community is growing significantly. Currently is about 6,000 to 8,000. I know this church in particular has other members from other countries in Africa. I actually visited Africa for the first time last summer. And I'm going to be going back in February, most likely, because we do have a very strong connection. And we need to make sure that we keep those relationships and we help. And you talked about refugees. My mother's a refugee as well. She came from Cuba. And so the work that we do to help people, particularly who are refugees that are fleeing, is personal to me. It's very important to me as a daughter of immigrants. And that is why we're so immersed in it and helping the community. And some of the things that we're working on right now with regards to immigration, we're trying to make sure that we renew protections, particularly the temporary protective status and the deferred enforcement departure, that they're set to expire in 2026. And we're working diligently to make sure the administration knows that we have to extend these, and it's critical for communities like mine, where we have a lot of immigrants from different countries around the world. The other thing that we're working on, which was signed originally by President Trump in 2019, is the Liberian Refugee Immigration Fairness Act. Many, I'm sure, of your relatives, maybe some people in this room right now, benefited from this. It was an important protection that allowed for long-term Liberian residents who had been in the country prior to 2014 to apply for lawful permanent residence, so they could obtain their green cards. And this program expired in 2021, and the previous administration under President Joe Biden, they did not extend it. So because they did not extend it, we now have to try to pass a new bill, and we're working with the Homeland Security Committee now to see if we can get that bill drafted following the meeting with you. So this was your community that came to my office and raised this issue, and I'm now taking it to Washington, and that's exactly what your representative is supposed to be doing. Listening to what your concerns are and then bringing them to Washington to try to get action. We have, however, since the meeting, had some good developments. When we spoke, and I said I would reach out to the Secretary of State and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. They just announced a couple of days ago a new visa reciprocity agreement with Liberia. So already we're getting some results, Solomon. Before, when you had the B1 or B2 visas, it was for a 12-month period. Now it's going to be 36 months, so we tripled it. So that's going to help a lot of. That's going to help a lot of families, a lot of businesses that are being operated by Liberians here. Also for cultural exchanges. So that's going to be very good. And we're happy about this, and again, it was significant. It got done in just a few weeks after meeting you, but it sets, I think, a nice start for a foundation that we can build on now. So we got something done already. We're going to continue to work. the big enchilada, as they say, is the Liberian Refugee Immigration Fairness Act. That's the big one. So, but that's going to require legislation passed by 2 houses, and as you can see right now, the 2 houses can't seem to pass the same bill, even when it's a continuation of existing funding, right? That was negotiated by everybody. That is even having trouble getting passed in the Senate. So it is challenging, but we're going to work on it. You have my word that we will advocate for that as well. And so I just wanted to come to share that good news with you, to see you all face to face. The pastor has invited me to come back when on a Sunday when you are here for prayer, and I look forward to joining you for that in the near future. And I just want to thank you all for joining us today, and hopefully we'll continue to have successes. And again, you know, Lily from my staff is here. She's going to stay longer because I know that some people may have specific issues that they want to bring to our attention. But Lily's fantastic and has been really helping with a lot of the immigration work. So Lily or Dawn, they've been doing a lot of my casework. And Lily is the director of my Staten Island office. So she's your point person when you guys need something. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. If anybody has a couple questions, I'm glad to take somewhere else. I'm going to introduce my colleague from the assembly. Well, I'm going to just introduce briefly my colleague here from the State Assembly.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sam Pirozzolo. He's a great partner on the state level. So it's really important, you know, not all the issues that we work on are city, state, or federal, so it's important that we have partners where we can work together. And thankfully, we have Sam Pirozzolo there, and he also was at that very first meeting. In fact, he brought Solomon to my office because when he was dealing with the community, they raised a lot of federal issues with Solomon, and so therefore they came to meet with me. And so really, Sam is a great champion for the community, and I'm fortunate to have him as a partner in the State Assembly, which is where I started my career. I was in the State Assembly as well.
Morning again. Let's forget about politics for a little bit, and let's talk about where we live. Solomon, I met you a long time ago. Pastor Faith, I have to tell you that this is the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy. And that's really when I met Pastor Faith and members of the Liberian community. I don't know how many of you were around at that time or will even know what I'm talking about. But during the hurricane, when people were at Susan Wagner High School, they were living there because they had no choice. Their houses were gone. Not damaged, I mean gone. It came to my attention, I was on the school board at the time, and we realized that people had to flee their homes so quickly, they left their medication. All right? And I run into Solomon and I meet Pastor Faith, and Pastor Faith got some members of his congregation when there was no gasoline to be had because even the gas stations were closed. And they volunteered to drive people home to get their medicine if they were able to because they had to evacuate so quickly, possibly to get some clothes, all over Staten Island. These were people that I didn't know well. He certainly didn't know us well. But they stood up, the Liberian community stood up for Staten Island, and that's what Congresswoman Malliotakis is doing for you right now in trying to resolve these issues. And I said to them just the other day, yesterday, they were in my office, and I said, listen, because they asked, how come you don't necessarily come and see our community? And the answer is pretty simple, is when I get an invitation, I will go. When the Congresswoman, as you can see, the Congresswoman, right, is here because we were asked. Sometimes we don't get the invitations. And sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, can you come and see? We have to have that friendly relationship or just a relationship. So I'm pretty much here to tell you, and as the Congresswoman is here to tell you that if you need something from us, don't be afraid. I just found out yesterday that Pastor Faith is a member of my constituency. He lives in Mariners Harbor, which is an area that I do represent. Not all of it, but I represent him. As I represent some of you, whether you're in my district or not, because literally we live on an island. And there's nothing that's gonna happen on the North Shore that's not gonna affect the South Shore or the middle of Staten Island. So feel free to reach out, say hello, and if we can't help you, because there's a lot of times that I can't, we'll find somebody who can. So thank you very much, Solomon, Pastor, thank you for the invitation today. And if you have any questions, I'm here, no problem.
Anybody have any question?
I like that, that's good. That means you're all happy, right?
Everybody's happy today.
All right, if nobody have a question,
And I just, oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
Thank you, Congresswoman. My name is Abraham Chief Tucker, former president of this community. My question and concern is, we do appreciate the great work you're doing to help our people. There are so many concerns. There are some of our brothers and sisters who are locked up, either for their own reasons or for other reasons. And some of them are about to face deportation. Inasmuch we are working hard to pass some legislations to keep Liberians here. They are all Liberians, one way or the other. They are in some critical need or probably want to reconnect with their family, but some of them being held in detention and about to be put in. Are you giving consideration to those kind of issues as well?
Well, it really depends on the individual circumstance. We have expressed concerns with the administration if they are detaining people that are not criminals. So that's the clear distinction. We've made it very clear that if somebody's here and they committed a crime, they're here legally, then they're gonna be deported. If this is somebody who has not committed a crime and somehow they've been detained, then you should contact our office and we can try to see if there's a way we can, work with them on that. So I think it's a very clear distinction. So that it really depends on the individual cases and circumstances. But yes, we've urged the administration to focus on people who are criminals, that they broke the law. And we've made that very clear to them that if people have been here for a very long time, they've done everything right, they've paid taxes, they've done everything right, but they lapsed and leave maybe their status simply because their visa expires, something like that. We should try to work with those families if they have roots here. Some of these individuals have businesses here, they have families here, they have children who are US citizens here. And so I don't think that's where they should be focusing their efforts. I think they need to focus their efforts on the people who are here and have been dangerous or have committed crimes that hurt other people. And I think that was that was very clear in that position when we saw a lot of these shelters that popped up around the city of New York that were housing the migrants. It turned out that 16,000 crimes were committed by people who traced back to those shelters that we were paying for as taxpayers. Okay, 4,000 individuals had been arrested for crimes, and they were residing in those shelters. So we want to be a country that is welcoming. We want to give people more pathways, and that's the most important thing here is we want people to come legally. We have to provide that opportunity for them to do that. So that's why we talk about the visas. When we talk about some of these programs, that's the trying to make that distinction, right? And I understand that because my parents are immigrants as well, and I want to make sure that people have the opportunity to achieve the American dream and they have the opportunity to come in a legal way. And I think that that's something, unfortunately, that is very clouded in all this debate and discussion.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Aloysius B. Boas Senior. I'm a member of this community. Thank you so much for all of what you continue to do for our community. And thanks also to the government for the extension. But I want to raise an issue that has to do with the embassy in our country, Liberia. Because our embassies around the world, when I mean our, because I'm an American citizen, right? Our embassies represent us around the world. It is very disheartening.
Yes.
I know you have not been to Liberia to see, but I hope you can communicate this. In Liberia, at the embassy, the matter of form in which Liberians are treated, those are scheduled for interview. They are treated very unfair. You have people who have paid visa fees and interviews are scheduled for them, and at our embassy you have those people sitting on the sidewalk under the rain, under the sun, waiting to be called in. It does not happen in other countries. I give you an example, other African countries around us, you go to the embassy, when appointments are set up, you are seated in a comfortable area, not on the sun. But it is the opposite for us. And we have a long-standing relationship with this country, America. It is very unfair that someone will be asked to come over to the embassy for an interview, and you have to sit on the sidewalk under the sun, because the government of Liberia cannot go to erect anything. It is the embassy. That's a no-go zone. And I think applicants should be treated fairly. At least the embassy should provide certain level of share or redirect the sitting capacity so that somebody can feel as a human being. That is just my concern. Thank you.
And that is a perfect example of something that I would not know unless somebody who experienced it told us. And that's exactly why we're here, to hear things like, things that we would not otherwise know, so we can go then and report back. So we will certainly reach out to the State Department about that and express these concerns to see, Lily, where are you? Where's Lily? Oh, Lily, make sure, get his phone number so we can get more information and examples, so we can share that with them, and we'll do that.